Death and Ascension. Many belief systems suggest we must die physically to grow or ascend to the next level of beingness. Indeed, a death of the old paradigm of belief is needed if we are to create a cooperative and successful new order within our psyche and on the planet. We are getting many signs that the era of the lone wolf, or every person for themselves, isolationist nationalism, and arming ourselves to the teeth to protect our turf is over if we are to survive as a collective. This cannot be just legislated by some outside authorities if the citizens of Spaceship Earth are not prepared to trust and cooperate a whole new level within themselves and with others. Our first and all-important step is to accept the death of our fictional self if we are to operate with clarity and truth in the next chapter of earthly existence. Yeshua's teachings on this are precise. The fictional self is who you thought you were after you forgot that you were love. You may also include every invented reality that you used to embellish those misconceptions. Everything must have a context, even the ego. When a fictional aspect of personality is face-to-face with true existence, such questions arise as, who am I? How can my projections and inventions be integrated with reality? How can these self-generated factors, unsupported by reality, be made real? Existence exposes truth, and it can be a great defender of your own truth if you allow it to shatter that which is not really you. However, if you persist beyond your challenges and revelations to enforce your invented reality with intentional deception, you will enter the world of sin. Sin is a much simpler thing than you may think it is. It's just the force and mischief that's used to instill and empower invented realities. To the degree that you have made such investments, you have moved away from God. In the ways of the world, a great deal of energy is spent on judgment, which is nothing less than competition for dominance among invented realities. Judgment is a cruel, childish game of egos competing for position. The sly, unspoken intent is that he who succeeds in sustaining a judgment is above judgment. That's not true. The fact is, the ego cannot and will not forgive. The ego must always be in control, for deep within its nature are feelings of unworthiness and failure, often enveloped with a mystique of privacy. Even though failure and unworthiness are both lies, they can be made to look quite real if enhanced with enough creation. In the end, one's ego is the source of all failure, because it will bring about its own demise through resistance. Once you know who you are, however, both ego and anxiety will vanish as you are restored to the infinite potential of love. Man's original sin was judgment. That's the only sin which a pure and innocent soul can commit. The immediate, inevitable, and unavoidable consequences of judgment is separation from the object of your judgment and from God to the degree that the Creator is also part of what you have judged. Judgments have become a way of expanding and multiplying until separation from God becomes a real and monumental problem. A being in separation is unconscious of his source, and therefore he will endlessly pursue the task of creating himself. The heart knows the truth that will set it free. If you would know the truth about any soul, look into his eyes with love and accept the reality which infuses his life. Now, let's take Class 9 Handout 2, Releasing Judgments, to do our work around judgments that have reinforced our fictional selves. Number 1, judgments of my fictional self on me are, and list 3, A, B, C. Ways I am willing to release these judgments are, again, list the ways you are willing to release each judgment, A, B, and C. 2, Judgments my fictional self have on others are, list 3, A, B, and C, and ways I'm willing to release these judgments are, list the ways you're willing to release each judgment on others, A, B, and C. Stop the video if possible and complete this exercise, then return to the video. Once we are centered in our true self and able to see the true beingness of others, we are in a position to work with a mutuality heretofore unknown as a collective organism. Our contentious perceptions of reality that have kept us divided are now harmonized through the principle of love, and there is a common trust that each can receive what they need given ongoing mutuality. One person's reality does not contradict another's. One individual's truth at this higher state complements another's in mutual respect. This is explained by Yahshua. There is a common reality that binds us all, yet every individual has a right to his own relationship with that reality and to honor both perceptions as his complete truth. As you respect reality, you have a common ground for working with others, but as you respect the truth of another person, you learn to respect your own truth as well. It's not so much a factual truth that will set you free, as it is the realization of what truth really is. Once you learn what truth is, you have a meaningful basis for communicating with others with confidence and certainty. As you regard the truth of others, you understand how God works in the same reality to bring a different focus for each person, for different meanings and different covenants. As you honor that balance, you will look for it in yourself as well. The miracle of truth is that it is unique for each and you're constant for all. This relates to another principle which is crucial to alignment with divine will, and that is the law of mutuality. Mutuality allows expansion and differences to occur in the universe or among humankind without loss of harmony. All communication is based on this law of mutuality. If there were no mutuality between two people, there'd be no sense in talking. Neither person could understand the other. However, without differences or viewpoints to share, what would be the point of communicating? On the very obvious level, having a common language is mutuality. Through a common language, differences may be compared and overcome if necessary. Through mutual understanding, you are set free from another's viewpoint. You don't have to serve the dreams of another. All you have to do is to honor that other person's right to have a dream. For in honoring his right, you honor your own. This is the blessing of mutuality. The law of mutuality is perhaps the finest guideline to the Creator's will, for God does not violate his own laws. It is his will that you grow and challenge yourself in relation to realistic possibilities, and that you apply your efforts to that which will be mutually beneficial to all concerned. What you are led to do may seem difficult in relation to your confidence or self-esteem, but such considerations are often denials of reality. It will never be impossible in relation to what truly is. Now, this is a beacon that shows us the path of working together in a new paradigm, but it does not do the work of releasing our fictional ego for us. For many, this may be a multi-lifetime process. This is perfect, since not having enough time or fearing failure may be ingrained in our fictional self, so we give ourselves all the time we need to fulfill our mission. Little deaths of our fictional self are taking place with each life lesson our soul orchestrates for us. And there can be occasional bigger deaths that herald larger transitions on our soul's journey, a time when we do major reorganization of our adamantine particles into a new form. This death indeed looks like the end of life from a limited perspective, but always opens the door for a new stage on our never-ending journey. If we are aware and prepared for this larger transition, we can be in a much more favorable position to take full advantage of it. This is particularly where we must take charge of our ego that believes its survival is at stake and will resort to every trick it knows to try to avert its demise, from distraction to denial and disbelief.